Today we have architect Drumil from Alankar Studio for our podcast session. Hi Drumil sir, how are you?
Hi, all good, sir. Nice meeting you.
Sir, for starting today we'll start with your feedback on A&I Magazine. What do you feel about A&I Magazine? How do you find it?
A&I actually, yeah, it's a very good move done by the complete team. I should say Hyderabad does not have any magazine as such, or maybe the Central India magazines don't cover architects from Hyderabad, or majorly in the South Indian part of India. It's all towards North India, and also it's one good move where we as architects feel that okay, our work is being showcased. एंड हमको ऐसे अच्छा लगता है कि हाँ हमने जो काम किया वो एक मैगजीन में भी आ गया है प्लस पीपल नो पीपल गेट टू मतलब पीपल रिकग्नाइज अस वी रिकग्नाइज सर्टन वेंडर्स जिनका ऐड इसमें आ रहा है कि उन्होंने क्या अच्छा काम किया है आई आई डिड नॉट नो दैट हमारे पास हैदराबाद में ही या तेलंगाना में ही इतने वेंडर्स हैं जो इतना अच्छा काम करते हैं तो वी जनरली गो टू बॉम्बे और दिल्ली और अदर मार्केट प्लेसेस बट दैट इफ इट्स अवेलेबल इन तेलंगाना vernacularly then it's very good so it's like connecting vendors architects it's giving recognition to a lot of architects over here so one of a very good move that you have done sir
Thank you
so
sir.
very grateful about that
Thank you so much. Actually, motto of our magazine was only to bridge the gap between architects and vendors sir.
correct
Even we have noticed many vendors are
but
not
it's
available.
it's now moving more far ahead sir and I think
Yeah, it's doing great. We are getting a
it'll
support from people like you, and we have
100%.
good support from our vendors teams too. So we are
100%.
having a great sir. What inspired to you be an architect sir?
Inspiration as such, sir, see, I basically studied my 10th year in Hyderabad from Chaitanya Vidyalaya. Then I did my MPC just like any other person does कि या तो आपके पास BPC होगा या MPC होगा एक option choose कर लो तो we went I said okay MPC करेंगे so once my MPC was done engineering was done and then my father asked me now what do you want to do we have our family business so he was more keen कि ये आ जाए हमारे line में but then I was like nahi I do not want to go into business so somehow suddenly for a year I took a break I started traveling I just started traveling around India around the world ki, just wanted to roam around on my own so looking at these monuments historical places and all I got that inspiration ki okay I should become an architect and our family is into sanitary ware which is also related to construction so then we were like ठीक है मुझे आर्किटेक्चर करना है बोल के मुझे एक मोटिवेशन आ गया so majorly I got that motivation when I was in Udaipur Palace so just I was roaming around the palace looking at everything and then I thought ki, okay now I should do architecture this is what I want so then I said okay let's go ahead with this so then joined college and
What you feel कि Indian architect is better or abroad?
uh, I cannot compare both of them, sir. Matlab, it's like vernacular. Indian architecture is more into proportions. No doubt, even Europe is and even Western culture is. But यहाँ के proportion दिखाने के तरीके and Europe and Western culture के दिखाने के तरीके अलग होते हैं. We are more towards traditional. They are more towards modern contemporary. So not comparing all of them, it is like even the whole fraternity thinks that all design styles are supposed to be good. Nothing is bad. But they follow one style, we follow one style. It is like that. But historically, yes, we have a very good background, we have a very good history. And that basically gives us an inspiration to design something good in future. So you take history from behind, you abstract it, and then you give something good back to the world. That is what it is. But we have done wonders, sir. Matlab, our generation, past generation has done wonders. Creating palaces on places where they are located. It is like science. जो उस जमाने में होगा आज के इसमें तो we need Google, we need instruments to locate things, we need to know where the contours are. ये सब हमको चाहिए होता है. ये information उन लोगों के पास बिना कोई मशीन से था. That is a very mysterious thing and I think it's good. India is doing very good.
100%. सर और सर ये आपने आपका एजुकेशन कहाँ किया सर आर्किटेक्चर
So I have studied my 5 years degree in CSIIT Hyderabad itself.
Okay.
Then I have done my 2 years masters in CEPT University, Ahmedabad. Then I have worked with a firm over there called Sangat Vastu Shilpa Consultants for a year or two. And after that, I came back and I started my own firm. So now, 2018 we have started.
And I know we got chance to feature your office, which is personally
Correct.
designed by you.
Correct.
And that time, the time we were taking inputs from you,
Correct.
much of scientific science and Vastu was involved into that. So
Yes,
what
sir.
you have to pass on the message to today's generations about Vastu, because
So
today's if you notice, वास्तु को इन लोगों ने डरा दिया है. अगर आज आप हैदराबाद में देखते हैं, पीपल आर वेरी पर्टिकुलर अबाउट वास्तु. आप ऐसे नहीं करोगे तो ऐसे हो जाएगा, ऐसे नहीं करोगे तो ऐसे हो जाएगा. सो लोगों से जो फोबिया है ना, ये हटने के लिए आप एक क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
So actually, so between me starting my office, sir, and between leaving Ahmedabad and coming back to Hyderabad, I had a gap of 1 or 2 years where I studied Vastu in depth with one of my Guruji. So he basically has opened my eyes. So I'll just tell you what all it is. Vastu is not actually something very dangerous. It is more of science related to design. मतलब भगवान को बीच में लेके आने की इसमें कोई ज़रूरत नहीं होती है. इट इज़ जस्ट दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड द सन पाथ, यू अंडरस्टैंड द एनवायरनमेंट, नेचर, एंड हाउ नेचर इज रिएक्टिंग टू अ ह्यूमन पर्सन. So we all believe that everything has a magnetic field. You have a magnetic field, I have a magnetic field. So according to our shastras, we know that whenever you create a form, there is a center created. जब भी आप एक फॉर्म बनाओगे उसका एक सेंटर बन जाएगा. दिस इज व्हाट द इंग्लिश सेंटेंस इज. इन आवर शास्त्रास दे से कि आप कुछ क्रिएट कर दो और बीच में एक ब्रह्मस्थान हो जाएगा. So brahmastan is basically the point of energy. Now from there you remove the coordinates and you see how the whole structure is coming up, and based on that how the sun and moon and all these angles are playing an environmental role towards your building or towards the structure that you're creating. Based on that there are certain sciences that we follow which is very general. जैसे यहाँ पे कैसे बोलते हैं कि किचन साउथ ईस्ट में होना चाहिए. अग्रीड. वाई? कुछ रीज़न होना चाहिए उसका. ऐसा नहीं है कि वहाँ पे अग्नि होता है, वहाँ पे पानी होता है. एक एलिमेंट हर जगह होता है, बट मेजर पॉइंट इज कि आपका खाना बनाने का जो टाइम होता है दैट इज टुवर्ड्स द मॉर्निंग. सो व्हेन यू आर कुकिंग द डिसीजेज शुड डाई, द बैक्टीरिया शुड डाई. सो फॉर दैट यू नीड सनरेज. सो ईस्ट का जो सनरेज होता है फ्रॉम 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, दैट इज मोर टुवर्ड्स ईस्ट टू साउथ ईस्ट. इसीलिए वी प्रेफर किचन टुवर्ड्स द साउथ ईस्ट. Plus, yes, there are 5 elements of the earth: water, fire, earth, air, and sky, basically. So, जैसे fire का जो element होता है, that is more towards the southeast. This is a Vastu chakra that has been designed by our ancestors and it has been proved. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि बस हवा में बना दिया. It is properly proved. So every element has a zone. Southwest is more of earthy, southeast is fire, northeast is water, air is towards the west and northwest, and Brahmastan is in the center. So when these elements are in its place, you create things that are towards the element. So you go with the magnetic field, you don't go against the magnetic field. You are all good to go. डराने का इसमें कुछ ऐसा मुझे नहीं लगता है. आप डिज़ाइन करते करते अगर आप एनवायरनमेंट एंड नेचर को कंसिडर कर रहे हो, ऑटोमेटिकली आप वास्तु को कंसिडर कर रहे हो.
और जनरली कैसे हो जाता है, अभी देखते हैं तो वास्तु का हो गया, कमर्शियल प्रोफेशन हो गया. इफ यू नोटिस इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड एवरीवन जंप इनटू द वास्तु. लोगों को
yes, but still sir, commercial, I agree. See, every vastu person also requires his own income, but commercial इस एस्पेक्ट में नहीं बोलूँगा, बट ऐसा हो गया है कि आधा दिमाग हो गया है, मतलब आधा नॉलेज हो गया है. वो एक तकलीफ है. मतलब यहाँ पे कैसा है, नॉर्थ को 0 डिग्रीज नहीं मतलब 0 डिग्रीज कंसिडर कर लेते हैं. You need to know that whatever your plot is plotted cross. So उसका नॉर्थ का एंगल भी क्रॉस है. तो जब आप पूरे चक्र को बिठाओगे, आप नॉर्थ को क्रॉस कंसिडर करके ही डिज़ाइन करेंगे. आज आपका प्लॉट 45 डिग्रीज या 40 डिग्रीज क्रॉस हो गया, तो यहाँ के वास्तु वाले आके क्या बोलेंगे कि सर नॉर्थ 45 नहीं, आप नॉर्थ को 0 डिग्रीज कंसिडर करके डिज़ाइन कर लीजिए. ओके, अग्रीड. नाउ माई क्वेश्चन टू देम इज, सन विल राइज फ्रॉम द ईस्ट ओनली. तो क्या सन जब आपका घर 45 डिग्रीज क्रॉस है, तो क्या सूरज यहाँ से उगना चालू हो जाएगा क्या? नहीं ना, वो तो अपनी जगह से ही चालू हो रहा है. सो जहाँ सन राइज हो रहा है दैट इज ईस्ट. अब आपका घर टेढ़ा है, उसमें नेचर का कोई गलती नहीं है. आप बोलोगे नेचर कोई पलटा तो मेरा घर सीधा है, वो गलत है. एंड सेकेंड प्रॉब्लम इज यहाँ मतलब प्लॉटिंग इज ऑलवेज रेक्टेंगुलर, इट इज नॉट स्क्वायर, बट वास्तु जो सिखाते हैं इट इज ऑलवेज टॉट ऑन अ स्क्वायर प्लॉट. सो एंगल से देखा जाएगा तो फॉर अ स्क्वायर प्लॉट नॉर्थ ईस्ट इज 45 डिग्रीज जो प्लॉट के कॉर्नर में आता है. बट रेक्टेंगुलर प्लॉट में क्या होगा, योर नॉर्थ ईस्ट इज नॉट 45 डिग्रीज, इट इज 45 बट नॉट एट द कॉर्नर. रेक्टेंगल का 45 थोड़ा सा शिफ्ट होके आएगा. तो यू नीड टू प्लान अकॉर्डिंगली. जब कंपास को लगाओगे उसके बाद डिजाइनिंग करोगे तो सही बैठेगा. सिर्फ ये कॉर्नर मेरा नॉर्थ ईस्ट हो गया ऐसा नहीं होता. तो वो उसी की वजह से सारे प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं. मतलब आज आपको जितने भी बीमारियां हो रहे हैं कुछ भी हो रहा है, तो आप जब आपके एलिमेंट्स के साथ काम नहीं कर रहे हो. आज साउथ ईस्ट एक्चुअली आपका रेक्टेंगुलर प्लॉट में कहीं सेंटर में आ गया, लेकिन आप गिन रहे हो कि वो कॉर्नर में चला गया है. तो एक्चुअली तो वो यहाँ है, आप वहाँ बना दिए किचन, तो गलती तो होगी. तो साउथ ईस्ट की जगह आप साउथ में चले जाओगे, साउथ वेस्ट की जगह आप वेस्ट में जाके सो जाओगे. तो उसी वजह से मिस्टेक्स हो रहे हैं. एंड दिस इज हाफ नॉलेज दैट हैज बीन गिवन टू एवरीबॉडी हियर. आई थिंक this needs to be rectified in the whole market.
That is must. It has to be rectified.
It has to be rectified.
And sir, what is your approach when you do your site, sir? मतलब आपका road map कैसे होता है, sir? When you take somebody's work, generally what is your approach?
So design wise I can say that yeah, once we get a project, first we need to understand what the whole project is about. We try to understand कि ये project के ऊपर हमें क्या करना है. And after that we take the requirement of the client ki what all requirements he has. After that you can say we start taking an inspiration. Now taking an inspiration comes from anywhere, matlab nature, art, whatever everyday life you see, कुछ भी आपको दिखता है, या मे बी जो क्लाइंट होता है उसके बिहेवियरल पैटर्न या उसके लाइफस्टाइल को हम अगर समझते हैं तो वी गेट सर्टन इंस्पिरेशन फ्रॉम व्हाट देयर कल्चर इज, व्हाट देयर ट्रेडिशन इज. Once we start taking that, उसको फिर abstract करके we try to do some concepts, designs, sketches. फिर उसको develop करते हैं, proper design development हो जाता है. फिर client से discussions करने के बाद then we start with the working drawings. We hire a third party consultant for contracting or turnkey, whichever way. And then execution administration होता है where we supervise the whole project. And in this whole process we make sure that the client is completely involved. So we are very transparent with the client. ऐसा नहीं कि आप बैठ जाइए हम कंप्लीट करके दे देंगे, वैसे नहीं. बिकॉज दे आर द वंस हु आर सपोज टू स्टे ओवर देयर, दे आर द वंस हु आर सपोज टू बी इन्वॉल्व. बट नॉट दैट कि वी आर हरासिंग देम. एट वॉट एवर स्टेज वी वॉन्ट देम, वी कॉल देम, वी डिस्कस विद देम, वी आर वेरी ट्रांसपेरेंटली टेकिंग देयर रिक्वायरमेंट्स इन टू कंसिडरेशन. कुछ चेंजेस देते हैं तो वी मेक श्योर दैट वी डू सम चेंजेस फॉर देम टू अ लिमिट, where I also sometimes put my foot down कि नहीं यही करना है, because I know it will look good. Client अपने requirement देने के बाद उसको किस तरीके से बिठाना है वो हमारा काम हो जाता है. We do that. So this is the whole process that we follow and we execute the whole project.
And you are, if I'm not wrong, sir, you're working pan India.
Yes.
So सबसे ज़्यादा मज़ा कहाँ आता है सर काम करके? मतलब you have done a number of projects pan India level पर, तो आपको सबसे ज़्यादा मज़ा कहाँ आया सर काम करने में? Like it was Hyderabad or it was Panipat or it was Visakhapatnam or Ahmedabad.
I feel the best place where I have worked till now, sir, is Ahmedabad. Yes.
Any particular reasons?
Particularly nothing, sir. Actually, I personally am a contemporary architect, a modern contemporary architect, and ऐसा नहीं है कि Hyderabad was not enjoyable. Hyderabad is also very enjoyable actually. Only thing here is that over there the people let us explore. मतलब they let us do designs, they let us explore something new. Over here people are little bit conserved. मतलब जल्दी open नहीं होते हैं, and whatever we try to do something new, there are very few clients I found in Hyderabad जो accept करते हैं कि चलो कुछ नया करते हैं. Otherwise it's all very traditional and वेरी रिजिड. एक क्या बोलते हैं, एक लाइन मिल जाती है हमको कि इसके आगे आप नहीं जा सकते हो, जबकि हमको उसके आगे जाना है. तो वैसी वाली बात है जो अहमदाबाद में नहीं है. दैट इज द ओनली डिफरेंस. अदरवाइज कॉन्ट्रैक्टर वाइज, लेबर वाइज, वर्किंग वाइज एवरीथिंग इज गुड ओवर हियर. देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम.
आप जब साइट्स करते हैं सर, एनी ऑफ योर साइट जो जिसके प्रोज एंड कॉन्स आप बता सकते हैं, लाइक एनी ऑफ योर प्रोजेक्ट जिसमें आपको चैलेंजिंग क्या था एंड व्हाट वाज द बेस्ट थिंग ऑफ दैट प्रोजेक्ट, ऐसा कोई एक साइट के बारे में डिस्कस कर सकते हैं सर?
Yeah, so not one, sir. There are two projects I can discuss with you. So, we when I shifted to Hyderabad, my second project or maybe third project was to do a residence in near Trimalgiri.
Okay.
So they gave me a project saying that ये घर बना हुआ है, आपको प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जो गवर्नमेंट ने रोड डाला है that is a little higher and the land is a little lower. I had actually spoken about this also in the past. But so this was a challenge कि जब रेन वाटर का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, so water from the road is coming into the house. So how do we solve this and all? So now problem was कि I suggested कि ऊपर एक फ्लोर मार देते हैं, नीचे स्टिल पार्किंग कर देंगे. That is what is the general practice that we follow. Let's do that. But the columns were not designed to
That
take
way
one
can-
more load. So now the client was adamant कि no, I want to stay here. It's a very good location and do something for me. So then we figured out 2-3 things कि कैसे करना है, and then we got to know that there is a system called jack lifting.
Okay.
So it's very easy process, but उतना knowledge नहीं था. उस time पे we found a person who can do jack lifting. So what he did is they cut a pit around the house and then they put jacks below the house. तो जहाँ फाउंडेशन और कॉलम का होता है उन्होंने कट कर दिया एंड उसके बीच में जैक लगा दिया, सारे जितने भी कॉलम्स थे, एंड दे स्टार्टेड लिफ्टिंग द हाउस. So the house was completely lifted by 10 or 12 feet odd, and then we put one more floor below that with a raised plinth. So हम रोड से ऊपर भी आ गए और एक फ्लोर भी ऐड कर दिया, एंड ऊपर उनका घर वैसे का वैसे ही है. एंड ये पूरे प्रोसेस में दे वर स्टेइंग इन द हाउस, सो कुछ भी डिसमेंटल नहीं हुआ. there was no damage to the house. They were staying on the upper floor and still the house was lifting, so there was no problem at all. And once the lifting was done, एक जैक निकाला, स्टील एंड सीमेंट भर के उसको जैकिंग करके नीचे फाउंडेशन स्ट्रॉन्ग करके बंद कर दिया. ऐसे करते करते पूरा कंप्लीट कर दिया. टुडे दे आर स्टेइंग ओवर देयर, ऑल गुड. आई एम डिजाइनिंग वन ऑफ देयर फैक्ट्री आल्सो नाउ, सो
Surprising.
going
Even
on,
we were
yeah.
not aware of this. It
no,
was-
it's a very good process. You can add one more floor below and still the house is there.
So strength का कुछ issue आता है सर इससे?
नहीं,
नहीं आता.
नहीं, they increase the strength during this process.
So now they're happily living there.
yeah, they're
Without
happily
any
living
problem.
over there, no problem at
So
all.
जब ये jacking वैकिंग करते हैं तो कुछ दीवार में cracks वगैरह आने के chances वगैरह कुछ
नहीं,
होते हैं सर?
nothing at all. It's a very easy process.
So this was the most
Very
challenging.
easy process, but I would say even 20% cheaper than what I would have done. पता नहीं, but if I would have done jacking and increasing the steel of the column and doing one more floor on the top, उससे भी ये सस्ता ही गिरता है. Only thing is दम होना चाहिए कि हाँ करना है मुझे.
हाँ, daring होनी चाहिए.
Daring होनी चाहिए कि करना है. That was one. And now we are doing a pharma project in Karkapatla. Government has given some land to one of my clients at a very lesser price. So now they are into manufacturing of probiotics. We are doing a pharma for them. So generally क्या होता है, pharma सुनते ही जब मैं वहाँ जाता हूँ देखता हूँ, what I see is एक shed बना दिया and inside सब चल रहा है. So even my client was in the very first he was little like कि कुछ अच्छा करते हैं. Then बीच में he was also like कि नहीं shed बना देते हैं. So I was like नहीं, we'll do something good. So then we designed a very good structure. It's a rectangular, very linear structure, but the whole roof has been bent down. So I can show you some photos. It's an amazing project you should see. It's very difficult to make. The whole thing is in single concrete, and the whole slab is touching to the floor. So towards one
Slab
end,
is touching to the
yeah, towards one end, and then we have taken care of rainwater channels. It's like we have made a whole park of pharma inside that, where everything is happening inside itself. मतलब water circulation हो रहा है. He has his own guest house also. It was a challenging project, but it
जब
turned
आप
out to.
फार्मास्यूटिकल फैक्ट्रीज वगैरह डिजाइन करते हो सर, तो इट्स अ सेंसिटिव प्रोडक्ट बेसिकली.
It's a sensitive product, and ambience wise it is more industrial. अरे यहाँ पे सिर्फ ये बनने वाला है और but here in this particular project any person who goes inside he'll feel like it's a proper park. जैसे let's say इंडिया में अगर आप देखो तो मैप्रो, महाबलेश्वर में अगर आप देखते हैं, so it's basically he's a person who will sell strawberries, but when you go into his land, मतलब उनके साइड पे जाते हैं तो you have a garden, you have a water body, you have a seating place. So it's like a proper park. So same thing, he's done it still with the food. So वो तो भी imaginable है. We are trying to do that with a pharma industry, which is a completely different and a new thing. So
तो इसमें और कोई कंसल्टेंट्स इन्वॉल्व होते हैं सर व्हेन यू डू फार्मा,
All projects, sir. All projects we have. Matlab, there are 16, 17 consultants who regularly work with architects.
Okay.
But depends which project pe how many consultants are required.
Yeah.
We choose them and then we finalize them. Let's say you have a lighting consultant, road consultant, landscape consultant, MEP consultant. Then you have electrical, separate electrical consultants if the project is more
Yes.
technical.
Yes, like this pharma is generally.
फार्मा के लिए आई
technical.
नीड केमिकल इंजीनियर्स उनके कंसल्टेंट्स होते हैं who design the inner part of it, we design the outer part of it, then we synchronize both of them कि okay हमारा कॉलम यहाँ आएगा, आपका पॉप शीट यहाँ आएगा. There are a lot of challenges because it was my first time to design something like this. It was a challenge, but now I am experienced, so if any other pharma comes, I know few things about pharma that needs to be there, but still those consultants are always required depending on their productivity, depending on their strength. They have their own machines coming in, उनका load, building का load संभालेगा नहीं, and all these things were there. Plus इसके अंदर भी वास्तु का issue आया था मुझे.
Okay.
So the land is south down, north up. So we were like कि क्या करें अब यहाँ पे हैदराबाद में तो साउथ नीचे हो गया, अरे काम नहीं होगा आपका. So I was like ऐसा नहीं होता है. I tried to convince the client and then we sorted out the matter. So finally what I did is I lifted his whole pharma by a floor up. So I made sure that the north, which was on the top, that becomes the base of the building.
Okay.
So नीचे stilt parking देके I tried to do all the parking area below, and we lifted the whole pharma on the first floor. And from the north we gave an entry which directly goes to the first floor. From the south we gave another entry which goes to the parking area. So with that whole circulation we could close the project.
ऐसे भी कुछ होता है क्या सर? लोग बोलते हैं कि अगर कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग बन रही है या कमर्शियल प्रीमाइसेस बन रहा है तो उसकी एंट्री साउथ से होनी चाहिए, रेसिडेंशियल हो तो उसकी एंट्री नॉर्थ ईस्ट होनी चाहिए. समथिंग इज देयर इन
नहीं सर, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. देयर आर 4 or 5 doors that are supposed to be very good in Vastu, which is apt to any structure. Let's say आपका रेसिडेंस होने दीजिए, कमर्शियल होने दीजिए, या वॉट एवर योर डिजाइन इंडस्ट्री होने दीजिए, 4 or 5 doors are there that you need to see, and with the help of a door you can do miracles. There is no problem in that. ऐसा कोई स्पेसिफिक नहीं होता है. So यहाँ पे जैसे मैंने बहुत सुना है यहाँ पे इट्स लाइक साउथ ईस्ट से डोर रहेगा तो अच्छा चलता है बिजनेस. नहीं, साउथ ईस्ट से अगर डोर रहता है तो पैसा अटक जाता है. So your liquidity will stop. So ऐसा नहीं होता है. You divide so in Vastu I'll say you divide all your zones into 8 parts. मतलब north 8 parts, east 8 parts, south 8 parts, west 8 parts. So there are doors defined in which particular part of that gradient that you're supposed to put a door. जैसे north होता है, so north का 8th division, या east का 2nd and 4th division, south का 2nd and 3rd division, west का 4th and 5th division. These doors are supposed to be very good for Vastu. So if you have a west property, south property, east or north, it's not that your site is bad. जरूरी नहीं है कि आप नॉर्थ ईस्ट का ही घर लेना चाहिए या नॉर्थ का ही या ईस्ट का ही लेना चाहिए. डोंट डू दैट. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू नीड टू सी द मैक्रो एरिया. आज आपके पास एक लैंड है जो आपको नॉर्थ ईस्ट मिल रहा है, लेकिन नॉर्थ ईस्ट में सामने 30 फीट पे आपका 40 टावर्स खड़े हैं या फ्लाईओवर जा रहा है. सो देन पॉइंट क्या हो गया? नथिंग, राइट? सो you need to see how your site is, and then you need to see ki, okay, if it is from the south, if it is from the west, how is the environment playing a role in that? Then you decide the land. And then yes, every site has its own door. You just need to learn this thing कि आपको कौन सा डोर लेना है, आपका ग्रेड कौन सा है. ये तो सीखना पड़ेगा. मतलब एक टॉक में मैं नहीं बोल पाऊंगा, but there is, you learn this and then you put that door over there and you can start your work. There's no problem.
What is your expertise, sir? Residential or commercial?
I
Spaces.
prefer more of commercial, sir, and I have done my masters in urban planning. So I also would, in future, if I get a chance, I would do streetscapes or a little bigger projects in that way. But yeah, other than that, residential is what I prefer more than commercial.
Who is your inspiration, sir, as an architect or interior designer?
My inspiration would be, he's one of my family members, Balkrishna Doshi. He's a very big architect and was a very big architect in India. So I take his inspirations and I do my projects.
Every architect or interior designer have their own signature. मतलब जिनका काम देख के a common man can also say who belongs to this fraternity कि भाई ये side इनकी है, ये side इस architect की.
Yes.
आपका वैसा signature है?
So what I believe in, sir, is true to materials. So what I have learned from my guru, my inspiration. So he always used to tell me कि जो material आपको मिला है, that material itself should be the final product. Why should you cover it with paint, or why should you give an aesthetic look to it? What if you want to do that, then why are you taking this material? There is no justification to it. So he was a person who used to ask me justification to everything. Why this? Then if it is a stone, he used to prefer कि stone ही होना चाहिए. The wall is supposed to be look like a stone. If it's a mud wall, you do a mud wall. If it is concrete, you do concrete. If it is brick, then let it be like a brick. So this was his concept. And initially when I was working, I was like कि इसमें तो building अधूरा दिखेगा, but एक बार बन जाता है, once the whole structure is elevated, it looks amazing. मतलब that particular material has its own color. Plus you are saving a lot of cost, plus you can do good treatments to it, which मतलब जैसे सीमेंट होता है, we can do an RCC wall से सीमेंट बन जाएगा, but that also over here what they do is they put iron sheets and then they cast it. What he used to do and what I feel was very good and what I learned is that you create the complete framework with pine wood. So pine wood के अंदर जो grains होते हैं, जब सीमेंट के ऊपर लग के निकलता है तो वो पूरे ग्रेन सीमेंट के ऊपर छप जाते हैं. सो दैट इटसेल्फ बिकम्स अ गुड टेक्सचर. तो वो पेंट ही हो जाता है, मतलब काम करते करते आपका पेंटिंग हो जा रहा है. एंड जब वो दीवार खड़ा हो रहा है उसके अंदर इलेक्ट्रिकल कॉन्डुइट, प्लम्बिंग कॉन्डुइट सब डाल दो अंदर. सो यू आर सेविंग लॉट ऑफ टाइम, यू आर सेविंग लॉट ऑफ मनी, यू आर क्रिएटिंग योर ओन टेक्सचर इन दैट वे. एंड मैक्सिमम व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, आप एक आयरन शटरिंग निकाल के पाइन वुड शटरिंग कर रहे हो. So these kind of things is what he used to do and what I feel is very good, and I would that is what I follow him and I do the same thing. That is what I believe.
एक स्टेपिंग स्टोन बन जाता है सर अपनी लाइफ में. एक आप कोई प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं which turns your entire, लोगों का नजरिया आपके प्रति बदल जाता है. Any such kind of projects that you remember?
So
which changed everything?
In the office that I have started, sir, I don't think I have reached that stage. But personally, if you ask me, for me, when I was working in Doshi sir's office, the Badra stretch and the IIM and Smriti one, these were three projects that I have worked with him. These three projects basically changed my way of looking at architecture. मतलब initially I used to think that architecture is more of fascination, but then how functional and how practical, how accessible those things have been designed, that changed my way of thinking, and now I follow those inspirations and I do my designs. That is
One last question, sir.
Yeah.
What is more important for you, aesthetics or functionality of the place you design? What matters you more?
So yeah, I feel aesthetics is like 20 to 30% of your design, sir. It should look good, no doubt. It should be eye-pleasing also. But I feel कि more of environmental enjoyment is better than aesthetic environment, because environmentally if you're getting a user to enjoy that space, it is a timeless project. And aesthetically it will have a time of its maturity, matlab let's say 5 years, 7 years, and then you get bored of it. So more enjoyment towards the environment will give you a timeless frame. You will never feel bored about it. Whenever you stay over there, you're going to enjoy it. To create this, you need nature, matlab your sun angles, your wind, the flow of complete environment that is happening around the structure or around the spaces is supposed to be considered towards the interiors also. Then you can create this timeless space. So we have done a project in Mokila where one of our user, they are a couple who are going to stay over there. So I asked them, okay, how is your daily routine? What happens? So they said our puja timings are at 7 o'clock. Our kitchen timings are at 8:39. So it struck me, okay, let's start with the puja room part. So puja room 7 o'clock, okay. So when they are in the puja room, something good should happen over there so that they should enjoy that space. So they have got a big portrait of their idol. So it's supposed to be placed on one wall. So I got an idea, why not get the sun rays directly onto that portrait. So what we did is we took the sun path of that structure. So at what time the sun is supposed to come towards the puja room. So 7 o'clock the puja room was placed towards the northeast. So 7:30 the sun is supposed to be there. So at what angle, when the sun 0 degrees, say at 7:30, at what angle is the sun coming to, and from there the ray is supposed to come to that wall. So वो पूरा angle निकाल के then we made sure that that particular ray falls exactly in between the foot, the 2 feet of the idol. So that particular time the user is going to enjoy that view. That is called environmental enjoyment. More than aesthetics. Matlab the whole, I would say that was a puja room in which I have not used marble, I have not done false ceiling, I have not done any inlay work. It's all cement. It's raw grey color puja room. Yes, only the top of the puja is supposed to be in marble. That is what I did. So that one white platform and everything is grey over there, and that particular portrait with all colors. Matlab idol mein jo colors hote hain, so everything was there. It was all jewelry and everything was there. So sirf this sun ray hitting on the floor and again reflecting back onto that idol was the design. So yeah, so when you are at any point of time in the puja room, you will not see anything, but 7 to 8 ke beech mein you will enjoy that space. So that is user centric. Matlab you need to know the complete cycle of the user, and then you start designing for them this way. That's what I believe in, sir.
So both are important.
Yes.
Aesthetics.
Yes. Aesthetics, I would say 70-30, sir, not 50-50 also. 70-30. More of I believe in timeless projects. So whatever we design, it should be timeless. Kabhi renovation projects aate hain in which you cannot. That time we also have to compromise. But if you are doing a structure, if you are doing a structure from the very start, then yes, we should take care of these things.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Done, sir.
And wonderful interaction.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.